Struggling to play your kick drum with power, cleanly, efficiently? This video may be for you. Hello guys, and welcome back to another drum lesson with me, Ross Ramsunder and Groove Studios, baby. Yeah! Alrighty, so today we're going to be talking about how to play the kick drum. Now, full disclosure, this lesson is going to be on how I play my kick drum. Alright? There are lots of techniques out there, and you know what? Whatever works for you, that's great. This is just how I do it and the way that I think about it and my approach to it. Alright? So, before we get to the kick drum itself, let's talk about something that doesn't get talked a lot about when it comes to us drummers, and that is balance. And I don't mean to sound crass, but this is where I put my butt. Alright, so balance. When we're sitting and playing drums, there are three contact points that we have: our butt on our chair, our right foot on our kick drum pedal, and our left foot on our hi-hat pedal. Yes, if you're left-handed, that might be switched around, but ultimately we're making a tripod sitting at our drum kit. And if you know anything about a tripod, and that is, if you cut away one of those legs, what happens? You fall over. Okay, so I think about this and I'm like, wow, okay, so when I'm playing drums, I mean, my right foot's moving, my left foot needs to play that hi-hat. So I need to find a way to be able to do all of these things while still keeping balance, alright? And the way that I do it is with a heel up technique. And the way that I think about this is I have a resting position in which I start from, and what's actually happening at that point is really interesting. The weight from my thigh downwards sits at the ball of my foot, okay? So immediately that, just doing that little bit of an elevation triggers my calf muscles. And the next step from my resting position is my heel goes all the way up. Alright, now I say all the way up, that will change, I'll get to that in a second, but for the instances, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to say that my heel goes all the way up. And you'll notice something really interesting with the beater when my heel moves further up, is that the beater doesn't move. In fact, it gets buried into the skin of the drum. Now, I know a lot of drummers say don't bury the beater into the skin of the drum. Again, pick your poison, man. Alright, like, this is the way I do it. I've been doing it like this for years. I've perfected this, I've mastered this, and it's what I teach. Alright, but heel goes all the way up, beater gets buried into that skin. Now, I want you to think of something. I want you to think of a slingshot, okay? You've got a slingshot in your hand. Unfortunately, I don't have one here to demonstrate to you right now, right? But a slingshot in your hand, and you put a stone into that little holdy thingy of it. Okay, I don't know what it's called. And you don't pull back on that slingshot, and you just let go. Are you expecting that stone to fly out, or is it going to drop right where you are standing? It's going to drop right here, okay? So in order to get that slingshot to operate the way it's supposed to, you're going to put the stone in, and you're going to pull that stone back in the slingshot, release, and then it's going to fly. And what you've done by pulling back is loading tension or energy into the rubber that is connected to that slingshot. And it's the same concept of my heel going from resting position to all the way up. I am loading tension into my foot. Alright, and the final thing that happens, I always say to my students, imagine jumping from your toes. Do a little jump from the toes and you will achieve a nice clean bass drum hit. Alright, it will also be powerful, it will also keep you balanced. Alright, so a couple of tips and tricks if you want to try this, okay? If you're sitting there and you get your heel up and you notice that, hey, your beater has moved away from the skin, more than likely what's happened is you've used your thigh muscle to pull your leg off the drum. Alright, you've lost tension. And you don't ever want to use your thigh muscle. I always tell my students, look guys, I know that these thigh muscles are nice and big and strong, but they're just too heavy to manipulate a pedal. It's a much more finesse kind of a movement, alright? And we use our calf muscle and we use that little ankle joint in our feet, as well as some control from the toes as well. All right, oh, very weird, like toes. All right, so you don't want to use your thigh muscle, you want to use your calf muscle. Do this slowly. Get the heel up, make sure that that beater is buried in, and return to your resting position. Do this over and over until you know, hey, I'm activating that calf muscle. If you're still struggling after that, what I'd suggest, take both hands, boom, put it over the leg that is playing the kick drum, and lean down on it, and then get that heel up. That will ensure that that beater stays down. It will also will send a signal to this thigh that, hey, you need to chill out here. We're letting this all happen in the calf muscle. All right. Now, interestingly enough, I do take the same approach to my left foot, where my heel is always slightly off the base of the pedal. Because when I want to play my hi-hat with my left foot, I do exactly the same thing. All right. And when I want to open my hi-hat with my left foot, super simple. I just drop my heel, and immediately that releases the pressure at the front of the pedal. All right, and then it's just a matter of how much do I want to open that pedal by pulling my foot off, pulling the front of my foot off the pedal. All right, now super important. Okay, I said earlier in the video that you got to get your heel all the way up. What happens if you wanted to play a little bit more of a subtle note on that kick drum? Well, guess what? All you need to do is not get your heel up as high. Alright, so think about it like this. The higher you're going to get your heel up, the more power you're going to be delivering to the kick drum. So guys, is this the best way to play the kick drum? I think so. I'm not saying it's the only way. I'm not saying that, everyone else is wrong. I'm saying this is the way I do it, and it's worked for me for years in various applications. Whether I was playing jazz, whether I was playing rock, whether I was playing funk or soul or pop or whatever. That's my go-to approach. And I really would like to see you guys giving it a try, see what you think about it, see what it feels like. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. While we're speaking about the comments, also please do consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. There will be lots more content coming forward, and hopefully some really valuable information to make your drumming journey an enjoyable one. That's it from me though. I shall see you at the next lesson. Catch you then. Good luck.